So today I am going to start with history, 7th standard. So I'm going to start with tracing changes throughout 1,000 years. 1,000 years is very large time, is it not, my dear students? So we read about ancient history in your 6th standard, right? And in your 7th standard, you will learn medieval period. What do you mean by medieval period? Medieval period is nothing but a time gap between the ancient time and the modern time. Okay, it is a time gap between the ancient time and the modern period or time. This chapter will actually give you a outlook of history. If you read this chapter's name, you will find out that what it tells you. It tells you all about the changes of 1,000 years. Right, students? But no one is alive, right? Do you think someone from 1,000 years will tell us all the stories what happened in this 1,000 years? No, right? But how do we know it? We know it through the studying of history. Many of them would have written scripts as you have read in your ancient history or in your 6th standard history, right? Our historians had researched about this around many years, right? About this 1,000 years. So we learn in this particular year what are all the changes we had faced in this 1,000 years. For example, how our clothing has been changed, how our transportation has been changed, and we read about many such things. And also about the changing pattern of education. What do you mean by changing pattern of education? So do we change actually? No, right? Whatever you are getting the education, do you think past many years back the students used to get the same kind of education? The answer is no. Past, before Britishers came to India, we had a system called Gurukula system. What does this Gurukula system means? This is a system where a student will stay in Guru's house and he will learn all the kinds of things, and he will go back to his place. He will get education for particular year and he will go back to his place. Do you think now we are having the same kind of education? No, I don't think so, right? So let me give you another small example. Can you see map number 1 and map number 2 here? Don't you think that this particular place in this map looks quite familiar? Or doesn't it look like a peninsular plateau? Right? Yeah, if you are thinking that it is slightly like India, yes. Then your answer is right. So this is map number 1 and map number 2. Over here, actually in this map, both will represent India itself. Okay, map 1 and map 2 represent India, and this map number 1 is in the view of Al Idrisi. This is in the view of Al Idrisi. He belongs to Arab country. Okay, and map number 2, this is from a French cartographer. What do you mean by cartographer? Cartographer is nothing but a person who draws map, who is very efficient in drawing map, is called as cartographer. Can you see there is a lot of difference between these two maps, right? Can you see the changes which I am speaking about? This first map was formed around 1156, and this map was formed around 1728. In earlier times, we see India in this way. And later in 18th century, we saw India in this way, right? Over a period of time, don't you think so? The map has changed. In time period, many things will change, right? What all we should learn from this example is, what you understand in this concept or in this chapter is, when historians read documents, for example, let me take you yourself as an historian. Okay, going to give you something to read a document and text and map, okay, from past, from very ancient time, and they have to be very sensitive, right, to different history has different kinds of background in different context in which information about the past was produced. We see both the maps, right? For example, let's assume that, yes, I said you that let us assume that you are only you are only an archaeologist or a historian. You have to write about history. Okay, I have given you these two maps for you now. Okay, which do you think you will choose? Because both of them belongs to history, right? You have to read both the maps. You have to read completely both the maps. But if I tell you that you have to choose only one map, and how will you choose? Don't you think you will find confusion here? Now, historians, what they should do is, they should be very sensitive what they are writing, because it is very different in different context. Things change as per their view. Again, if you take this map only as an example, Al-Darisi would have traveled from sea, right? So therefore he would have done this particular cartography because he has come from sea, right? So therefore he would have done this particular cartography. Now take another example. Okay, if you take another example, in this example, see, if I am seeing towards you, or if I am seeing towards the mobile, my right hand side is this, right? This is my right hand side, right, towards my east. And when I turn this way, when I turn, do you think the same side will be my right hand? No, it will change towards the west, right? So historians has to be more sensitive in what they are going to write. Okay, so in this chapter we are going to read about many things like old and new technologies, what they were using, and terminologies, and many like cities name, and historians and their sources, and about the religions and empires, old and new, and thinking about many history periods and about their period. Okay, and what happened during that time, we are going to read all these things. This is just an introduction for 7th standard history, so please do watch the video and keep rocking, my dear students. I know you always rock all the time. Thank you so much, my dear students. Stay home, stay safe. Thank you.